Have you ever wondered whether the cooking oil sitting in your kitchen could be harming your health? You may have heard that one oil is the worst, that another oil is toxic, and that some oils should never touch your food. But here's the problem. A lot of advice about cooking oils on the internet is exaggerated or simply wrong. So today, we're going to separate fact from fiction. We'll look at the type of fat health organizations are most concerned about, explain why some oils are better choices than others, and show you what to look for when reading a food label. And stay until the end, because the answer may not be the oil you expected. First, what makes a cooking fat unhealthy? Before naming a dangerous oil, we need to understand something very important. Not all fats are the same. There are different types of dietary fat, including unsaturated fats, saturated fats, and trans fats. Your body needs some dietary fat. Fat helps provide energy and helps your body absorb certain vitamins. But the type of fat matters. According to the World Health Organization, industrially produced trans fat is not part of a healthy diet and should be avoided. And that's where we need to focus our attention. The biggest concern, partially hydrogenated oils. Here's the ingredient you should know. Partially hydrogenated oil. This type of oil was historically used to make liquid vegetable oils more solid and improve the texture and shelf life of processed foods. But there was a major problem. The process can create industrial trans fat. And trans fat isn't just another type of fat. According to the WHO, industrial trans fat increases the risk of heart disease. The WHO estimates that more than 278,000 deaths globally each year can be attributed to industrially produced trans fat. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, also determined that partially hydrogenated oils are not generally recognized as safe for use in food. So when you hear health experts warning about certain fats, this is one of the most important things they're talking about. But here's something important. You might be thinking, if partially hydrogenated oils are so harmful, why don't I see them everywhere? That's a good question. Many countries have introduced policies to reduce or eliminate industrial trans fats from the food supply. In the United States, the FDA took major steps to remove partially hydrogenated oils from foods. But that doesn't mean you should stop reading labels. Depending on where you live, food products can vary. That's why checking the ingredient list is still a useful habit. Look for terms such as partially hydrogenated oil. If you see it, that's a reason to choose another product when possible. What about palm oil? Now let's talk about an oil that often causes confusion. Palm oil. Palm oil isn't the same thing as partially hydrogenated oil. Palm oil does not automatically contain industrial trans fat. However, palm oil is relatively high in saturated fat. According to the American Heart Association, replacing foods high in saturated fat with foods containing unsaturated fats can help lower LDL, often called bad cholesterol, and reduce cardiovascular risk. The WHO also recommends limiting saturated fat and replacing it with healthier unsaturated fats when possible. So the message isn't, palm oil is poison. That's too simplistic. The more accurate message is, palm oil is higher in saturated fat than many liquid vegetable oils, so the overall amount and what you replace it with matter. What about coconut oil? Coconut oil is another popular example. You may have seen people online calling it a superfood. But coconut oil is very high in saturated fat. The American Heart Association recommends choosing oils that contain more unsaturated fats instead of fats high in saturated fat. That doesn't mean one meal containing coconut oil is going to damage your heart. Health effects depend on your overall eating pattern. The bigger question is, what kind of fat are you eating regularly, and what is it replacing? What about reusing cooking oil? Now here's another important issue. What happens when cooking oil is used repeatedly? Repeated heating, especially during frying, can change the chemical composition of fats and produce undesirable compounds. But here's an important distinction. The WHO explains that frying oil at high temperatures causes only a modest increase in trans fat compared with the much larger amounts historically associated with partially hydrogenated oils. So we shouldn't exaggerate this point either. The safest approach is to avoid repeatedly overheating or reusing oil when it has clearly deteriorated. And remember, deep-fried foods can also be high in calories, even when the oil itself contains mostly unsaturated fat. So the bigger picture is the entire food and your overall diet. So which oils are better choices? Now let's get practical. According to the American Heart Association, many liquid, Non-tropical vegetable oils are good choices because they're generally higher in unsaturated fats and lower in saturated fat. Examples include canola oil, olive oil, peanut oil, soybean oil, sunflower oil, and corn oil. The best choice can depend on the food you're preparing, availability, cost, cultural cooking practices, and your overall diet. You don't need to buy the most expensive oil in the supermarket. The goal is to make healthier choices consistently. Don't believe the seed oil panic. You've probably heard another claim online. All seed oils are toxic, but that's not what major health organizations say. Oils such as soybean, sunflower, corn, and canola contain unsaturated fats. The American Heart Association lists several of these oils as healthier alternatives to fats higher in saturated fat. So don't automatically assume that an oil is dangerous simply because it's made from a seed. Nutrition is more complicated than a viral social media post. The label trick you should know. Here's a simple habit you can use when buying packaged foods. Don't only look at the front of the package. Turn it around. Read the ingredient list. If you see partially hydrogenated oil, that's a red flag for industrial trans fat. Also look at the saturated fat content. Remember, according to the WHO, adults should keep saturated fat below 10% of total daily energy intake, while trans fat should be less than 1%. For most people, the goal should be to replace unhealthy fats with healthier unsaturated fats rather than simply adding more fat to the diet. What should you actually use in your kitchen? So what should you do? Don't panic. You don't need to throw every bottle of oil in your kitchen into the trash. Instead, think about your overall pattern. Use oils that are higher in unsaturated fats more often. Limit foods containing industrial trans fat. Keep saturated fat intake moderate. And remember that cooking method matters too. Instead of deep frying everything, sometimes try steaming, boiling, baking, grilling, or lightly sautéing. And don't forget vegetables, beans, whole grains, nuts, seeds, and other nutritious foods. Your health isn't determined by one bottle of oil. It's determined by your overall lifestyle and eating pattern. The bottom line. So, what is the most dangerous cooking oil? The scientifically accurate answer is, there isn't one ordinary cooking oil that can simply be labeled the most dangerous for everyone. The major concern is industrial trans fat, particularly from partially hydrogenated oil. Saturated fat-rich oils, including palm and coconut oil, are another category to use thoughtfully because too much saturated fat can raise LDL cholesterol. And many liquid oils rich in unsaturated fats, such as olive, canola, soybean, sunflower, and peanut oils, can be healthier choices. The key isn't fear. It's understanding the type of fat you're consuming and what you're replacing it with. So next time you're standing in the supermarket looking at cooking oils, don't just ask, which oil is bad? Ask, which choice gives me more unsaturated fat and less saturated and trans fat? That is a much better question. If you learned something from this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more simple, science-based health information, and share this video with someone who cooks every day. And here's today's question. Which cooking oil do you use most often? Palm, sunflower, soybean, peanut, olive, or another oil? Let us know in the comments. Sources mentioned in this video. The information presented here is based primarily on guidance from the World Health Organization, WHO, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, and the American Heart Association, AHA.